Hello, Pokemon Go trainers. Gigantamax Gengar is gone now, but I was able to get some more raids in, some Gmax raids in, and to be honest, definitely was much tougher with this group of players. Now, I mean, definitely understandable to be hesitant in investing in Gigantamax Pokemon. Niantic are very, very annoying with with the cycle of trying to keep us to get each of these Pokemon for the first time again. I mean, Gen 1, Charmander, Bulbasaur, Squirtle, they've been the first Pokemon you've been able to catch because they were starters. You could also get Pikachu. I mean, there's endless amounts of costumes for Pikachu. Even a new India-only Pikachu wearing a sari, which is cool. Definitely a tough shiny to get. And, Gigantamax, I mean, Niantic did, release Gigantamax starters, Charizard, Venusaur, and Blastoise, and in time they will return. And that was such a very interesting release, Niantic. I mean, they still act like it's 2016, even like 2018 before COVID. A lot of players have lost interest in this game. I mean, I'm going to stay till the end. Who knows how long, but as many players know, Niantic definitely holding this game back because they really don't listen to the player base. But Gigantamax Pokemon, they are very strong, and it's definitely much better to invest in them. But of course, you do need Dynamax Pokemon. And you do need investment if you don't have 40 players. And even then, you need players that have spent the Stardust powering up. And, I have a max team. I haven't invested in Greedent. A Greedent because none good enough. No 3 stars. And I mean, Gmax Blastoise is plenty strong enough. Now, as more time goes on, more Gmax raids, and as we get more types of Pokemon, there's 50 different Gmax Pokemon, something like that. And we're getting Toxtricity in the Go Wild area, which we're thankfully getting Dynamax Shoulder before, which is definitely going to be a needed investment to truly make Toxtricity very manageable. Now, some of the positives that are amazing. I mean, the guaranteed way to get Rare XL Candy, very nice. I mean, Rare Candy used to be the pinnacle, and then they added XL Candy, which is a grind. Rare XL definitely very handy if you can't do enough Legendary raids. Although it's definitely best to use the Rare XLs for Mythical because those are the toughest Pokemon to get XL Candies for, since I mean, in general, you can only catch one. Or in some scenarios, like a non-shiny and shiny variant, you can get 2 Mews. You could have gotten 4 Shaman, 3 non-shiny, and 1 shiny. As, like, that tier of, like, exclusive mythical that you could catch the most of. But outside of that, I mean, even just regular legendaries, walking 20 kilometers for a chance at an XL, it's best to like level 40 Pokemon, at least to 30. If you're walking it, especially if it's, I mean, in general, best chance to, I'm not sure exactly the minimum level to maximize the chance at like getting an 80% chance at walking with the Pokemon to get an XL Candy. And there is a way to get to Excited State to half the distance you need to get a candy without using Poffins. Of course, you can use Poffins, but those are premium items that you may really not want to spend Pokecoins on when there's so many other things to spend Pokecoins on. Now, Niantic they should allow us to at least store like 3,000 max particles. Ideally, like 4,000-5,000, so you could prepare through the week collecting your particles, max particles. So then on a weekend for Gmax, if you are able to have enough players, I mean, being able to prepare and get ready for like an hour or two of free Gmax. And even if you end up spending some coins because you're like, doing a couple more, honestly, not terrible. But 25,000 Stardust also, I mean, this is like the closest, I would say, to being able to buy Stardust, just because you get so much. I mean, you get some from raiding, but nothing in comparison towards the 25,000. Now, with the group, I was also able to do a Mega Banette, which is cool. I already have the energy. But win raid research, that was key. It wasn't shiny Banette, which is fine. Caught some shiny Shuppets before. But it was just, we were all at a Gengar and there was a Banette, which was convenient. But I got one of the rarest shinies in the game, Shiny Spiritomb. I was so excited. Shiny Spiritomb. Now, Niantic, in classic Niantic fashion, being very annoying with only allowing to have like one chance a year for like the last 3 years to get Spiritomb. And this year, I mean, so they released a shiny and they had it like catch Pokemon, like Dark type or Ghost type. Like something like 20 around there, maybe 30 for a field research to get the shiny. I mean, just in general, getting Spiritomb from that's nice. That's fair. But Niantic, so they did make it permanent booster odds for a shiny Spiritomb, and we've been only able to pretty much get it for Halloween, like one check a year from a free special research. And there was a paid research that you could get a Spiritomb check in this Halloween, and there was also a Spiritomb you could get from Sinnoh Tour. But, I mean, if you just play one account, only getting one check a year, like, or two, that's crazy. But also, classic Niantic with bugs. The UI, the user interface, disappears from time to time in doing these Gmax. Now, it's really important to have to spend the candies and max particles on increasing the moves. Having Max Spirit, being able to heal the people in your team. And once again, so you're sorted into teams of 4, and you can do damage with max moves. You can use Max Guard and Spirit. Once you get a max upgrade into the max mode, you can use 3 moves, any combination. And see those bubbles, you swipe. But this was fun. And also, so 8 Pokemon remaining. And I am, this was such a crazy close battle. Now we had 8, 9 people. I think 9 in this group. But it's definitely, like, with the group, thankfully I was able to hard carry the team. And definitely very, very difficult. I mean, you're going to see how close it is. And I mean, when raids were first released, I mean, 20 people failed. You can only have up to 20 players. But only level 40 was the top level. Now, the legendaries, there were Tyranitar available. But that was still, like, something that was still a grind to get. Level 40 Tyranitar was definitely an achievement. I mean, if you did enough raids, Tyranitar raids definitely very popular, but if you didn't have the players in your community, even the sheer amount of players, it's tough. And Gigantamax Blastoise was still around. I did end up doing a Max Guard, which maybe it was a mistake and could have defeated Gengar faster. But I did use both my Gmax Blastoise to absorb some of the damage. And I think this was a Shadow Ball Gengar, which as a fast move, or Shadow Punch. Shadow Punch as a fast move, which, I mean, I would have been knocked out already, and we would have failed had I not max guarded. But it's definitely very tight battle. 1572. Terrible. How great after putting in so much work. But if you can time the type, so in the max meter charge, you can just stay in with your tank, and then when the max pops up, then you can change, which is very nice. As you saw that Pokemon, like before the Pokemon actually maxed up, you can click and swap. And I just wanted to stay in to launch Psychic because it's handy damage. And they weren't just about a launch move. Was at the energy. Now, a plus and a minus, you can reset the move set, which is very important, especially if you're going in with a pretty minimal group. Now, some of us had Metagross, but still very, very tough. Okay, we had to dip out and try a different moveset on this. But for Gengar, and it'll vary depending on what Gmax is going to be the battle. But for Gengar, you wanted, if enough people had Metagross and even powered up Metagross, then you definitely wanted Psychic Sludge Bomb, and that is a moveset 4 trainers were able to defeat Gigantamax Gengar with. Now, 3 of those trainers, if you didn't see the video on the channel, and I apologize for the audio, the gameplay not being muted, that was a bad mistake. But 3 level 50, 3 of the 4 trainers had level 50 Dynamax Metagross. Very important to have the attackers you need to do super effective. And then paired with those Metagross, they had each 2 level 40 Dynamax Blastoise. I think I saw it was Dynamax, but Gigantamax is just better. But if you don't have that, then Dynamax it's still very good. Level 40 is very important. And they had no investment in Max Spear because Guard, and you want the damage. You need the damage. But Max Guard is also very handy, being able to just survive the charge attacks, the max attacks from the boss you're going up against. But in general, it is nice to prepare Max Spirit, especially if just in case you do have some very strong attackers in your team. It's definitely tough to organize. You should be able to go in with preset teams, like if you're in a party. And Niantic did a good job at least making Gigantamax considerably easier. And while, there was, 30 parties, 30 and 40 players failing, I imagine a good chunk of that was people not having any investment. It is really important. You need to evolve your Pokemon. Leveling up your Pokemon out, it can definitely be tricky. If you don't have the candies, if you're a casual player, definitely a tough thing. But you get a lot of starters back. Now, unfortunately, you can only prepare to do 2 free a day. If you have no interest in committing the Pokecoins towards extra max particles, understandable, but just the reality, I think they definitely want people to spend the coins on these Gmax. And who knows? Gigantamax Eternatus could be how we get Eternatus release, could be this through Dynamax, Gigantamax, hopefully Zacian and Zamazenta combined, which that's gonna be crazy. Yeah, my Gigantamax Pokemon definitely spent a lot of Stardust. Definitely wanted to be prepared. I did get a 15 attack Gengar, not the best. In the last video, I did get 391s in a row, which was insane, but also, like, I'm going to invest in the max moves on one of them. There's no need for investing in Gmax Gengar immediately. I mean, if you have a Gmax built that can easily, like, take care of regular Dynamax raids, definitely can hold off. I mean, I have lots of candies, lots of XLs. Candies are no problem. And I mean, there's really no need to invest in a Shadow, which choosing between regular Shadow, Dynamax, and of course, Shiny, it's definitely, it's definitely a lot. And this Metagross not the best. I have better Metagross, but thankfully, it was key getting the damage. Definitely would have not been able to defeat without it being maxed out. And I did spend coins on extra max particles so I can invest in the moves in time, which, like, it's nice that we got 2 weekends of Gigantamax, like, so quick, and Niantic gave Stardust per Gmax defeated. And Rare XL candy is already guaranteed, is just fantastic and definitely what I am hunting for. Definitely a resource I want. But hopefully now, as we know, strategies that more and more people, especially if they intend on doing these, that they're going to spend the max particles, definitely important. And you're able to collect 1,000 in a day. You can collect 800 in a day, but before you reach that 800 max, by maximizing the amount of, if you're less than 100 away, best to collect the 300 from walking 2 kilometers. If you have Adventure Sync on, you can always passively be collecting that. Just nice to save it before. If you are going to, each day, may as well collect it if you still can collect more particles. But thanks for watching. Good luck, trainers, on your Gigantamax, and let me know how it went for you. Definitely was much easier, but also just still a wild time. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.